Two Russian missiles have hit the city center of Kryvyi Rih. This is located in southern Ukraine. This is also Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown. At least 2 people have been killed and several are feared trapped under the rubble. Before the war, Kryvyi Rih was a steel-producing city with a population of over 600,000 people. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has warned that the war is now coming to Russia. This comes after 3 drones were allegedly sent by Ukraine to carry out an attack in Moscow. The Russian Defense Ministry accused Ukraine of carrying out a quote-unquote attempted terrorist attack. Flights at a nearby international airport were temporarily suspended with the attack. Saudi Arabia is preparing to host a summit to discuss a peace plan for Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff has said that officials from several countries would be invited to participate. Reports say that the talks will take place on the 5th and 6th August with 30 participating nations. Italy's defense minister Guido Crosetto has said that the country's decision to join China's Belt and Road Initiative was atrocious. He added that the initiative has done little to boost Italy's export and has made China the only winner. Italy had joined the Belt and Road Initiative in 2019, a move that was widely criticized. China had promised Italy that both nations will see fruitful results. A suicide bomber blew himself up in a massive explosion at a political rally in northwestern Pakistan on Sunday. At least 40 people have been killed, while nearly 200 have been injured. The blast took place at a gathering of the Jamiat Ulema-e-Islam party in the Bajaur district, which borders Afghanistan. Police officials say that the suicide bomber detonated explosives close to the stage where the senior party leaders were sitting. Anti-France protests broke out outside the French embassy in Niger's capital, Niamey, on Sunday. The protest was organized by the country's new military leaders. Demonstrators stormed the French embassy and chanted anti-France slogans. France warned that it will not tolerate any attacks on its citizens in the country. Niger was a French colony until the year 1960. West African nations have imposed economic and travel sanctions on Niger's new military leaders. They've also threatened to use force if the military leaders fail to ousted President Mohamed Bazoum within a week. Some immediate actions include borders with Niger would be closed, commercial flights will be banned, financial transactions will be halted, national assets will be frozen, and aid will come to an end. The coup in Niger began unfolding on Wednesday last week. 2 days later, Niger's military declared General Abdurrahman Tiani as the new head of state. Chad's president, Mahamat Idris Deby, met Niger's military leader in the capital. He arrived in the country after attending a summit organized by West African leaders. Deby volunteered to speak to the military leaders in Niger. He came to power in Chad in 2021 after a coup. Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid has asked Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government to freeze its judicial overhaul for 18 months. The statement came as protests against the controversial law continued for the 30th consecutive week. Thousands of Israelis took to the streets to build pressure on Netanyahu. His overhaul law limits the powers of Israel's Supreme Court. Protesters say the law is a threat to democracy. A massive rally was held in the Indian state of Manipur on Saturday. It aimed to address the ongoing ethnic clashes between the Meiteis and Kukis. The rally was organized by the Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity. It represented various Meitei groups. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of India has called for evolving a broad mechanism to deal with violence against women in Manipur. The court also pulled up Manipur police over delayed registration of the first information report. This is regarding the case in which 2 Kuki women were made to parade naked on camera. Cases of conjunctivitis are rising in various parts of India. Delhi, Maharashtra, Gujarat and some northeastern states are facing a rapid spread of the infection. The rising cases have been attributed to floods and waterlogging amidst an intense monsoon season. The symptoms include redness, itchiness and stickiness in the eyes, and swollen eyelids. Moving to climate, Typhoon Doksuri has caused a road to collapse at a village in Beijing. Footage shows a road crumbling into the river below. The typhoon continues to dump heavy rain in the region, flooding hundreds of roads and halting flights. Meanwhile, authorities have warned residents not to step outside due to the record rainfall. Another footage showed a man trapped in his car amid strong gushing flood waters. The car was pinwheeling down a flooded river in China's Hebei province. It later came to a stop and firefighters rescued the man. Doksuri is one of the strongest storms to hit China in years. Heavy rains accompanied by hail have wreaked havoc in Mexico City. It has caused damage to roads and infrastructure. Several areas have been submerged in torrents of rainwater that have left roads impassable. Meanwhile, neighboring states also experienced the wrath of the storm. Severe thunderstorms wrecked the US states of Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. It left residents grappling with widespread power outages and massive property damage. The storms, accompanied by heavy rainfall and fierce winds, also caused significant disruption to travel. The intensity of the storm have led to multiple trees and wires falling. Satellite imagery shows the scale of devastation left by a fire in the Mojave National Preserve in the US state of California. Authorities say the fire has not been contained due to an abundance of dry fuel and high winds. The massive wildfire has spread into the US state of Nevada. It also sent smoke into the Las Vegas Valley. An evacuation order was issued for the Canadian town of Osoyoos and its surrounding districts. This was after an out-of-control wildfire crossed the border from the US state of Washington. An alert has been issued in the region, citing quote-unquote potential danger to life and health. Efforts continued in Syria to contain wildfires in its northwestern regions. Firefighters and helicopters worked to spray the flames near the Latakia county side. The fires there have been burning since last week. In recent years, Syria has been hit with rising heat as well as erratic rainfall. A global heat wave and high temperatures have affected tourism in Jordan. Reservations at the Dead Sea resorts in the West Asian country of Jordan have reduced by 20%. Temperatures at the Dead Sea are expected to range between 41 and 43 degrees Celsius in the coming days. However, a resort official said reservations are expected to bounce back between September and November. A drought alert has been issued for Bolivia's tourist hotspot. The National Service of Naval Hydrography declared an alert for the iconic lake this week. This was after its surface fell 2 centimeters below the drought warning stage. The hydrology unit of Bolivia's Navy has warned that water levels could reach historically low in the coming months. Now for business and tech news, officials and some residents in San Francisco are unhappy with the new sign for the messaging platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Neighbors have complained that the lights are intrusive. Meanwhile, San Francisco's Department of Building Inspection has opened an investigation into the structure. It says that the building might be in violation of city rules. Italy's competition watchdog says it has accepted commitments proposed by Google. This puts an end to an old case. Last year, the regulator opened an investigation into the tech giant following a complaint from an Italian startup company, Hoda. It accused Google of hindering its users' right to share their personal data with other digital service platforms. Malaysia may hold back on its plan to take legal action against Meta platforms. This is following a positive engagement with the Facebook parent company on tackling harmful content on the site. Last month, Malaysia's communications regulator had said it would take legal action against the firm. This was for Meta's failure to act against harmful content related to race, religion, online gambling, and advertisements. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, will launch a new streaming service later this year. It will be called NASA Plus. It will be an ad-free, no-cost streaming service, and its content will include the live coverage of future rocket launches, documentaries, and new original series. NASA Plus will be available via the NASA app on iOS and Android devices. The streaming service will also be accessible on the web via the agency's new beta website. Cash-strapped US trucking company Yellow Corp has ceased operations. It has filed for bankruptcy after failing to reorganize and refinance $1 billion in debt. The company was the third biggest trucker in the US. Its customers included large retailers like Walmart and Home Depot. Ford Motors is recalling nearly 900,000 trucks in the US. This covers the F-150 truck model produced from 2021 to 2023. The recall is over a potential wire issue affecting the electric parking brake. However, the company has said it did not receive any complaints of crashes or injuries related to the recall. According to reports, Walmart has paid $1.4 billion to American hedge fund Tiger Global. This is to buy the hedge fund's stake in the Indian e-commerce platform Flipkart. The transaction will put the value of Flipkart at $35 billion. According to previous reports, Tiger Global held about 4% of the e-commerce firm. France's privacy watchdog has sounded alarms over Sam Altman's WorldCoin project. The French regulator has questioned the legality of WorldCoin's biometric data collection method. This process requires users to provide their iris scans in exchange for a digital ID. In certain countries, the project also offers free cryptocurrencies. Last week, Altman, who is the CEO of ChatGPT maker OpenAI, launched his cryptocurrency called the WorldCoin token. The International Monetary Fund says it has reached a staff-level agreement with Argentina. This is to disburse about $7.5 billion to the debt-ridden Latin American nation. The IMF will also complete its fifth and sixth reviews of its $44 billion loan program for the country. The new agreement, however, still needs the approval of the IMF Executive Board. The body says its board will meet in the second half of August to consider the agreement. US President Joe Biden is reportedly planning to sign an executive order by mid-August. This is allegedly to limit critical US technology investments in China. The executive order focuses on semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. Reports say it would not affect any existing investments and will only prohibit certain transactions. However, the restrictions won't take effect until next year. Moving to sports, in cricket, England fast bowler Stuart Broad said he will retire after the ongoing Ashes Test series at the Oval. He has taken 20 wickets in the series so far, which is the most by an England player. His 17-year-long career is set to come to an end, with him being the fifth highest wicket taker in the history of Test cricket. West Indies beat India in the second one-day international match by 6 wickets at Barbados. The hosts levelled the score to 1-all in the ongoing 3-match ODI series against India. The third and the final match will be played tomorrow. This is the first win for the West Indies in their last 10 ODIs it has played against India. In the FIFA Women's Football World Cup, Japan defeated Spain 4-0 and will now play against Norway in the knockout stage. Japan, who were the 2011 champions, scored 3 goals just in the first half of the match. Hinata Miyazawa stole the show by scoring twice. This was the first time in which Spain conceded 4 goals in a single match in 11 years. Morocco beat South Korea 1-0 in yesterday's match. Moroccan defender Nouhela Benzina became the first player to compete at a World Cup wearing a hijab. She sported the headscarf during Morocco's match against South Korea. This was 25-year-old Benzina's first appearance at the tournament. Spanish football club Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-0 in a pre-season friendly El Clasico. Barca's Ousmane Dembele scored the first goal. This was followed by Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres scoring in the second half. Barca will complete their pre-season tour with a game against AC Milan in Las Vegas on the 2nd of August. English Premier League club Manchester United renewed a deal with the German sportswear giant Adidas. The deal is worth $1.16 billion and will extend for 10 years until June 2035. Both the parties said the new deal would focus majorly on the Manchester United women's team. The two have been partners since the beginning of the 2015-2016 season. French football player Alain Saint-Maximin has left the English Premier League club Newcastle United and he'll be heading to Saudi Pro League club Al Ahly. The French forward made 124 appearances for Newcastle and has scored 13 goals. He is the fourth high-profile player to join the Saudi League this summer. The financial details of his signing have not been disclosed yet. In tennis, world number 1 Iga Swiatek won the Poland Open in Warsaw on Sunday. She claimed the title after defeating her German opponent 6-0, 6-1 in a match that lasted for 68 minutes. This is her fourth title of the year. World number 9 tennis player Taylor Fritz won the Atlanta Open on Sunday. He clinched the 6th title of his career after defeating his Australian opponent in the final. This is his second victory of the season after the Delray Beach title in February. In Formula 1, Red Bull's Max Verstappen won the Belgian Grand Prix. This is despite having started behind 5 racers. This marks his 8th consecutive F1 win. Verstappen is now looking to match Sebastian Vettel's F1 record of 9 wins in a row. In entertainment, director Greta Gerwig's movie Barbie has earned more than $770 million at the international box office. The movie is just about $230 million short of joining the $1 billion club. It is expected to reach this milestone by next weekend. If this happens, Barbie will be the first Hollywood movie directed by a woman to earn $1 billion. And the movie has been in theatres for only 12 days. SAG-AFTRA, the American union representing striking Hollywood actors, has responded to controversy of interim agreements. Interim agreements allow truly independent projects continue being filmed during the strike. However, they must agree to be bound by the terms of the deal that the union will reach with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers. SAG-AFTRA has said that this is a vital part of their strategic approach towards the strike. Actor Brad Pitt has paused the production of his upcoming Formula 1 feature film. The step has been taken in support of Hollywood's writers and actors who are on a strike. 7-time Formula 1 world champion Lewis Hamilton is the co-producer of the currently unnamed movie. Brad Pitt is playing the role of an F1 driver who competed in the 1990s but moved to racing in other disciplines after suffering a horrible crash. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has come out as a Swiftie. He attended singer Taylor Swift's Eras concert in California with his wife and daughters. The billionaire shared pictures from the concert on Instagram with the caption, "Life of a Girl Dad." Responding to a comment, Zuckerberg said he is in his lover era. He had let his daughters draw a heart on his face and dye his hair blue. A seismologist has said that singer Taylor Swift's fans triggered a small earthquake in the American city of Seattle. The Swifties, as they are called, caused seismic activity equal to a 2.3 magnitude earthquake. It has been termed as the Swiftquake. This happened over the weekend when Taylor Swift was performing at a sold-out concert in Seattle. Swift is in the middle of her Eras tour. American rapper Cardi B threw her mic at an audience member during a performance after they splashed a drink on her. Cardi B's security guards then intervened and dragged the audience member away from the arena. The cases of fans throwing things at artists during the performances have increased. Singer Harry Styles recently faced a similar incident in Vienna where he was struck by a bouquet of roses. Singer Madonna took to social media to thank her loved ones who supported her during her hospitalization last month. She said, and I quote, "My children really showed up for me. I saw a side to them I had never seen before." In June, she was hospitalized due to a bacterial infection. The Grammy-winning singer had to postpone her world tour to fully recover. Actor Mandy Moore has opened up about a health scare that her 2-year-old son recently faced. She said her son had an unexplained rash, which was a result of Gianotti-Crosty syndrome. She added that parenting is hard and sometimes it makes you feel hopeless. Mandy Moore is famous for playing the character of Rebecca Pearson in the famous drama series This Is Us. Veteran filmmaker Oliver Stone has voiced his regret over voting for US President Joe Biden. He added that he fears that the US leader may take America into the Third World War. He said, and I quote, "It seems that he is dragging US, or rather us, stupidly, into a confrontation with a power that is not going to give up." Stone recently worked on a documentary called Ukraine on Fire. He said he uncovered the causes of the conflict in Eastern Europe. Actor Zachary Bryan has reportedly been arrested for domestic violence for the second time. Bryan was reportedly arrested on Friday for violating an Abuse Prevention Act. In 2021, Bryan pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts in a domestic violence case in Oregon in the US. He was arrested and booked for harassment, coercion, strangulation, and interference with reporting the case.